And good morning, 66 degrees outside. Jamie, tomorrow I'm going to introduce everyone to Zorro. What do you think?
Woo.
That's all I need, another dog. I'm babysitting Elvis this weekend.
That's right. Zorro.
Good morning, I'm Jamie Cooper. Thank y'all for getting up with us. I see eye to eye with all of y'all. Hundreds of thousands of y'all watching, 50 or 60 in the studio this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Tim Anderson, Joe Clinton's Baptist Church.
Good morning, Jamie.
Roll Tide. He's the only minister I know that dogs out Auburn in the ceremony.
Oh, a ceremony is not a sermon now.
Yeah.
Next week will be a eulogy.
Yeah.
Well, God bless him then. Eh?
He's got something special he's going to be talking about. The church does such a good job doing stuff. We got another special lady in here this morning. Got here early. We'll talk with her in just a little bit, too. There's her in here. Check in with what they got going on down in Decatur, Alabama. Up, and yes, good morning. There she is. And drinking a Fresca this morning. That's the first time I've seen a Fresca in 30 years, probably. When's the last time you saw a Fresca?
But last time I saw a tab.
A tab or a diet, right? Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
This morning.
I got to talk about this morning. This is Tim's thing here. Love loud. We could say that
Real
in here
loud.
this morning. We're going to talk some football. Frank's on the phone, 230-498-8. Big game tonight, LSU at Mississippi State.
Cheers.
I think LSU's a 6.5-point favorite in that game, Bobby.
Yeah. But Mississippi State.
They need to redeem themselves.
Well, they lost the game last weekend. That's true. But I'll tell you right now, they played well. So do not count out Mississippi State tonight against LSU.
I'm predicting Auburn to win every game. Hoping they lose every game. We'll talk all about that just a minute. Anyway, thank y'all for getting up with us. A glorious day. The temperature is going to be just right for football season. I hope it drops down into the 40s.
No.
All right, let's go to the woman who knows the weather. Here she is to get us all glorified on a Thursday morning.
Well, I'll just pretend I know the weather today. But 66 degrees, thank you, 66 degrees out there right now. And you know, it's about as warm as we're going to see today. 70, it was 70 earlier, so that was our high temperature for today. We've got 74, a little off there, but a little scattered drizzle, rather, out there. A little rain, not a whole lot left. Around noon, it should all be gone. Things will clear up, but not temperatures. We do have a cold front moving in. Be careful on your way to work. Going to be very windy today. Tomorrow, high temperatures of 77. You can't mess that up. 77 with a low of 53. Don't have to worry about any more rain for a few more days. Anyway, should be an absolutely beautiful, beautiful weekend to be outside with the dogs. 230-4988 gets us. I'm hoping Elvis will help me with Zorro.
We all volunteered. This people came over to the house the other day. I said no. We had a little Bama party. I said no kids and no animals. Well, somebody from church shows up with 3 of their kids. They're all that big.
Oh, no.
And then the other people show up with a dog.
Oh, no.
And aren't you glad?
About that all made. So we said, we'll babysit. Well, I didn't know that was going out of town for a week. But now I'm stuck with Elvis.
You just got through saying you were going to watch Elvis. He's going to watch football.
He's this big. He's like a little person.
I know, he's adorable.
Tim, how are you?
I'm good. I'm just noticing your banner there on the pulpit. That's what I need.
You need one of those? I may be clearing out a bunch of stuff here anyway before long.
Is it not, you're going to go in the
That leads
museum?
me into a thing in USA Today this morning. It says, does it bother you that you can't afford to buy all the things you want? Well, yeah, it bothers anybody.
It bothers me worse if I get them than I can't pay for them.
32% says no. 25% says not sure. Does it bother you, Bob, you can't buy anything you want?
Yeah.
What do you want?
What I want?
Yeah.
I like to have a bigger house.
I got one I can sell you. How big?
Have you lived in it? I don't want it.
How big a house you looking for, Bobby?
I'd like to have a bigger music room for my house. I'd like to do that. But other than that, my house is okay. I do live by myself, you got to understand.
Well, so you about tired of living in that cracker box.
Yeah, I was just going to say, a bigger house makes more work for me when I'm doing housework.
Get you one of them mobile attic things, have it set on a vacant lot, and just live in it. It'd be the way to go.
Oh, it could be.
Hey, go back to football. Did you see the opening of the Auburn game when Spirit, the Eagle, flattened himself right up inside the plexiglass window there? Well, he's doing good.
Oh, good.
Unfortunately. The director of the Alabama Raptor Center said the Auburn University beloved Eagle Spirit, you know, that Clem Tire, their son takes care of that down there.
He does.
Did not know that.
He works down there. He works there. Crashed into a stadium luxury bar in front of thousands of fans. The routine for the pregame flight of ritual and home games was normal. The 14-year-old, well, he's old anyway.
He's
14-year-old
blind, he
eagle
can't
circled
see.
high above and then collided with a window before regaining consciousness and flying on.
That's smart. By the way, I want to make a quick comment to everybody watching it out there, all three of you. I'm really glad to see that Jamie really did his hair well today.
What's wrong with you? I've been out in the wind. If y'all didn't know, it's windy outside today.
Well, it looks like you've been out in the wind, that's
I
for
have
sure.
been out in the wind. Had to go to Jiffy and get you a sausage and biscuit.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. This in USA Today this morning. Filling stations are no longer just for gas.
Filling stations. I hadn't heard that term in a while.
That's
God,
a
So
long
here,
belt.
filling stations. It says right now, some U.S. colleges, too, are installing water fountains known as hydration stations so students can refill water bottles. That's right. The stations are also popping up in airport, parks, office buildings, even on tour with bands, including the Black Eyed Peas. They're trying to reduce plastic waste by promoting tap water. According to a push, a network of more than 800 restaurants and cafes nationwide have agreed to give people with reusable bottles free water refills.
Well, I do that at work.
I've been drinking out of the same bottle. I'm trying to get some new. I just bought some new for at least 6 months to a year.
Have you washed it?
Stick it in the
No, my
dishwasher.
mouth's clean. I'm
not saying your mouth's there, but
do I look like I'm sick to you?
well, you get bacteria, and even the water's got bacteria, and if it settles there, it'll cause. You got to wash those things, Jamie.
Do I look like
Gloria?
it's hurt me?
Am I correct or not?
Tim.
He's well insured.
I'm glad to know.
sorry.
I'm glad to know that's
Hey,
what's
Tim,
on her mind.
Now at church, y'all are going to have to start opening. Let people go in and fill up their bottled water.
You do have the water fountains, don't you?
We have several water fountains, but we have several coffee stops too.
That's right.
That's what I want to keep my attention on, is coffee stop.
How many cups of coffee do you drink a day?
We need to change the subject.
That's what I thought.
Way too many.
Anyway,
Not
Bobby,
to answer your question is a lot.
bottled water to me is a waste of money.
Well, that's true.
Well, you mentioned tap water. That's what we're drinking in the bottles anyway.
Filtered water.
Somebody else filling up the tap water. We just paying for
We
it.
buy
All right, Tim, I'm glad you up here today because we need a good person amongst us for my
Yes,
next
we
thing.
do.
Hey.
Yes, we
Something
do.
I know you would never do.
Oh, really?
Now, looking around this room at the 30 or 40 in here, they might do it. Tom probably does it. Well, Mac, I might do it.
How about me?
We usually don't do
You
it.
would do it because you're cheap. You're frugal, Bobby.
I'm very frugal, not cheap. Frugal.
Dear Abby today, Tim, so that's why I've got you a man of the cloth up here.
Oh, my goodness. Here we
Lucky
go.
you.
I go to the movies occasionally, Jamie, with my niece Connie and her 2 kids. Although the theater has a sign, no outside food or drinks allowed, she sneaks snacks in her oversized purse, then doles them out after the lights go down. I'm not talking about a couple of candy bars. She brings bags of candy, chips, can of soda. While I agree with my niece that the price of refreshments is outrageous, I also believe it's the theater's operator's prerogative to set prices and policy. I suggested she skip the snacks during the movie and take the kids out for ice cream afterwards. But no, she doesn't want to deprive them. She said it was the principle, and besides that, get this, everybody else does it. So, I mean, you could sneak in a sun-draw.
Possibly.
Possibly. I don't know if you could get none of these in there or not.
I don't think it's a big purse there, man.
How would you post them? Huh? How would you post them in the
You can
purse?
put that up underneath your shirt and claim everybody you were pregnant, but
Or you could just get all kinds of candy.
oh
and
Lord,
stick it in your pockets. And then how much money would that save you?
a bunch
But
with the
don't you like-
prices they
don't you like
charge
the
these
movie
days. But
popcorn?
that's how they make their money.
My niece thinks I'm a critical old crank who's out of step with the time. I'd love to know what your opinion is. Your thinking is right on. Your niece's behavior is dishonest. The children model their behavior on the example set with the parents. Her excuse that everybody does it is a cop-out because everyone does something doesn't make it right. That's like my mama used to tell me. If everybody jumped off a building, you going to do the same thing? Then she washed my mouth out with soap. Huh?
You'd be the first one jumping off.
But she's dear Abby says, I'm often struck by the amount of food I see purchased before people enter large tubs of popcorn, king-size candy, bucket-size soft drinks, and nachos. Obesity is at a record level. We are repeatedly cautious not to eat in front of the TV. The munching going on in the theater is another example of mindless, compulsive eating.
Well, now I'm one of those old school folks. When I go to the movie theater, I kind of like the idea of having a bag of popcorn or.
That's why I go
sneak it in?
That's why you
No. I never sneak it in. No. Now, personally, I don't think there's a problem if you had like a candy bar you want to take in with you. It's my candy bar. I can do what I want to do with it. But no, I wouldn't bring in popcorn.
But for the record, Jamie, I've not carried in a Sundrop. I've not carried in my own popcorn, but I have took in my own Almond Joy.
There you go. See?
Matter of fact, I really do like these
You can
Almond
have
Joy.
one.
Help yourself.
Yeah, you can have one.
So that I would do, but I would not bring in popcorn or my own
You
drinks.
know, the
or
other
anything like
big
that.
thing about theaters, and we talked about this last week, is now the non-stop chattering on cell phones and the texting going on, which you're the world's greatest at.
Not in the movie theater.
What about in church?
No, sir, I'm preaching.
I ain't talking about you.
Y'all are texting, I'm preaching.
I just don't like the word tweet. I'm going to tweet somebody.
you gotta say that- you gotta say that
No.
carefully.
That's too personal.
You
I
gotta say that
tweeted it was an accident.
Yeah, you got to say it carefully. But now the same people that are carrying food into the movie theater are the same people that's bringing it into the church services as well.
You don't have people eating in church.
Now I can see Jamie
As long
in
as
the
they
front
come, I
row.
don't care what they do.
I can see Jamie in the front row at church eating those things right there.
Well, I mean, I granted that would be hard to sneak in.
Oh yeah,
You
I
ever
think
try to
so.
put them individually in your pocket? You're going to make a mess.
And by the way, talking about front row, you hadn't been at Clements on the front row in a while.
I
We
ain't
got
been nowhere
change
from
that.
that
Been a while.
cross point for a while.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Damn.
You know, you could always put that can down in your pants there, Jamie, and go in the theater with it.
He had it.
She carries such a big purse. I
Not
always
in the
sneak a
movies.
Diet Pepsi down in there.
Oh, okay. No,
Yeah, he has that
I wouldn't do
habit.
anything like that. Popcorn, but I like popcorn.
And
in
10 or
movies.
15 minutes into it, it's pop. We can hear that can pop over, right?
No.
Well, at least it wasn't a beer. Wasn't carrying another. But anyway, y'all have yourself some Almond Joys there, Tim, since you like.
I got one. It's right by my phone there.
Think about it, you can't hardly eat just
Stop
one of
at
them
one?
dudes, man. They are.
No, no,
So
it's
now
like
when
a
you go
Snickers
to the
bar.
theaters, here's the deal. Don't be sneaking food in. All right.
Save
How
up
many
and
of
buy
y'all
there.
looking around this room used to get in the trunk of the car to go through the the drive-in theater?
Done that.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? When we were in high school?
They got a drive-in here in Athens. Man.
I
You never
remember.
did that,
I
Tim?
never did
Come
that.
on.
No, I never did that.
You
He's a
never
good
snuck in the
guy.
car or drove in with about 10 of them in the trunk.
No.
I'd be
No,
afraid
I
to
didn't
get in
do
the
that.
Frank, you did.
I did.
How would you get them in that horse and buggy anyway? I mean, what they do? Haul up, stand up?
See, Frank was going to the movies back then. As before they had movies, they used to do flashcards up in front of the screen, just flashcards. That's how he went to the movie.
Silent movie.
They didn't have sound, so they just show them what was happening. All right.
No, I've done the sneaking into the.
not
We
right.
did that a couple times in high school. Sure did, a bunch of us guys, because
Woody's
someone got
Drive-In,
stuffed in the trunk.
Weisberg.
Woody's Drive-In was one over by Lee High School,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah, did it there. Sure did.
And then Woody's Weisberg Drive-In's one we used to go. It was closer from New Hope. How much tell you? When I was going New Hope High School, for $5, you could fill your car up with gas, take your date out to eat, and go to a movie for $5. Mm-hmm. Now you can't even get a thing of popcorn that big for $5.
You can't get the small popcorn.
Yeah, for $5.
When I was growing up, the best deal,
I get
at
a
least,
seat at Monaco for $5.
well, yeah, that's true.
It's not going to happen.
It just thinking about going to a movie costs you $5. When I was a kid growing up, the best deal for me personally, I played a lot of golf when I was a kid, was municipal golf course. You buy $5, pay $5, you get a summer-long pass. I could play as much golf as I wanted at municipal golf course for $5. Best deal I've ever been a part of. It was wonderful.
Well, weren't
Kept
you
me off the
special?
streets. Kept me off the streets. Kept me out of trouble when I was young.
Speaking of municipal, is that the one on the Parkway?
Yeah.
How long has that little rocket been right there?
Since
I saw it in the other day when we were down
I
Airport
want
Road.
to say it was 62 or 4, I think, is when they put
Because the
that thing
airport
in.
used to be there.
Yes, and I remember years ago, Way Radio had a contest where they hit a key, I think, to a car or whatever, motorcycle, whatever, and it was buried there at the base of that rocket. That was where it's been. Through clues, that's where it brought you, and they found the key.
We're talking about the little rocket on Airport and Parkway right there,
Yeah.
the little missile.
Right at the corner of the municipal golf course.
All right, Shut Up Not With Us, speaking of rocket missiles, he's still in Alaska up there working, and his team's got a big game tonight. We'll talk about all that coming up next. Coach Creasy should join us a little bit later on this morning, too. Right now, on a live edition of Cooper Cup Live on a Thursday morning,
for
we'll
the
take a break.
news.
Y'all hang on.
Woohoo.